I'm standing here on the edge of the City of London, which is expanding north and eastwards at the cost of the people who live in those areas. Every time you see cranes in the city, you know that it's going to be for new office blocks, new prestige developments, and not for the houses and schools and hospitals that everybody really needs. And the reason I'm standing is to stop the developers, to stop the people who are spending millions of pounds every day on new offices that we don't need, and to say that what we need instead is an emergency programme of house building, of council house building, which can allow ordinary people to get some of the wealth of London to benefit them. It seems to me that we're facing a choice now in London, that it's one of the richest cities in the world, but the inequality is growing greater. And what I stand for is that I want to reverse that. I want more money spent on public services. I want money for an emergency council house programme. We shouldn't be spending all the money that we do on things like war in Iraq and Afghanistan. $3 billion alone this year would pay for many hospitals, schools, teachers, all the things that we're short of and that we really need. And therefore, I think there has to be a vote to the left of Labour and to the left of Ken. Everybody in the mayoral election has two votes. One, they can have a first preference and a second preference. I'm asking them to vote for me first and to give their second preference to Ken, which means that when it goes through to the second round, if, as most people expect, the two final candidates are Ken and Boris Johnson, that my votes will transfer to Ken Livingstone to keep Boris Johnson out. I think that's very important because we live in a city which is naturally a city which is left-wing, which is based on equality, which is a multicultural city, and I think that that is what we should encourage. But I also think it's important that we have to say to New Labour that people are fed up with their policies. I'm getting an incredible sense on the streets and on the doorstep that people have had enough of the Labour government. My message to them is don't vote for the right, don't vote for Boris Johnson, don't vote obviously for the BNP or any of the other small right-wing parties. Do vote for a left alternative, and if I win 5%, if enough people vote for me on the list for the London Assembly, and I win 5% of the total vote across London, then I gain a seat on the Assembly. And if I gain a seat on the Assembly, then believe me, that will be one very, very loud voice standing up for the working people of London.